No, it didn't come from the bottom of the ocean. It was actually attached to my Mitsubishi. That's the fuel filler for the gas tank. And those two hoses are supposed to be the same length. So obviously that's rusted off. Looks pretty crusty in there. See if I can clean that up. Check for any other holes. Weld a piece on the end maybe. And see if we can save it. Because otherwise a new one of these is $200. I have to get it shipped. So see if we can save this. Hopefully. God, I hate old rusty cars. Okay, the next step on fixing Kermit, I got all the brake lines and fuel lines fixed up, is to replace this piece of metal for the fuel tank filler. And I went and I measured the cross here. It was 1.5 inches. So I bought some exhaust pipe. What's that? 1.5 to 1.75 inches, figuring that I would take the bigger part and put it over top and extend it. Well, I measured wrong, it's a little sloppy. If I turned around, the 1.5 inches fits there just perfectly. So I can weld that up. And that'll be good. But then now this may be too big for the rubber hose. I'm going to try it out, see if not. If not, I'll go get another piece. That was like $6.99. Quick, easy fix. So just weld that up and hopefully the hose will fit over that. If not, I don't need it that long maybe. I might don't even need it. Just use the 1.5 inch part. I'll have to figure that out. So anyways, that's going to be the solution anyways. Weld that on there, give it some more pipe, hook it all together and be able to put gas in it. And of course, while I was at Canadian Tire, I had to do some impulse buying and got something for Kermit. Nothing says 4x4 like 4x4 stickers. Now it's an all-wheel drive, so I got to figure out where I'm going to stick these. Like, one on each side, maybe at the back right there. I don't know, maybe the front fender. I don't know. It was a frivolous impulse thing. It's like, because it is all-wheel drive. And it does say it on the door, but it's very faint. I don't know if you can see it or not. And, yeah, all-wheel drive. So you can't see that. So you need something to scream out. Maybe I'll put it right there. Right there. I don't know. That's something, that's for Ron. Later on. But for now, we're going to try and weld up this pipe here and see if this will work or if I have to cut this short or what to do. But that's the solution anyways. A good brand new piece of pipe. Weld that on there and we'll be good to go. Okay, here's the hose that goes to the gas tank. And this is where the metal pipe that, there we are. That's the metal pipe, your fuel filler. And that would go there, or no, that would go like that. So I cut this section of the hose, off because as you see it's all split. And that's where it rusted out and that. So I have to add a piece of metal to replace the piece of metal that's still stuck in there. The piece of metal is still stuck in there. To weld that onto here, bring it out, and then put the hose over top. And now my hose is shorter. So this is the pipe I got. And this way goes good. But the problem is it widens out here, and that's too big. I kind of need the other way around. I need 1.5 inches down here, and then maybe 1.25 inches up here. So I'm going to grab another piece. And then hopefully it's long enough that it'll slide into the hose that I cut off. Because I cut off, let's see now, if I can do this and hold the camera at the same time. That's how long it should be. Is that going to stay there? So if I weld this piece on to about here, I got roughly that much hose left in the car to clamp onto. So that's the plan. I just need another piece of exhaust tubing that goes from, whatever. Yeah. So that would be, 1.5 inch diameter. And I need to go to 1.25 inch outer diameter instead of 1.75 inch outer diameter. So I need it smaller because it's got to go inside the rubber hose. But unfortunately, so I got to replace part of the rubber hose because, as you can see, it's all rotten and split. So back to Canadian Tire, grabbing a piece of exhaust pipe, hopefully long enough to compensate for the piece of rubber I cut off, make it longer, and put it all back together. We hope. Okay, back from Canadian Tire. Got another exhaust adapter, 1.5 inch down to 1.3 inches. And the 1.5 inch fits perfectly over here. It's a fairly snug fit. I'll run a bead of weld around there, make sure it doesn't leak. But with this little step down, makes it easier to go inside the rubber hose that's on the gas tank. And we'll clamp that in there, and that should solve that problem. Okay, I got that welded on. Did a bit of grinding with the flappy disc. You can see so you can't see how crappy my welds are. They're pretty crappy there, but it's hard to, I'm welding rusty metal and, well, I'm not a professional welder. The big thing is to see if this will leak now. So I'm going to seal off the end, put some water in it and make sure it doesn't leak. And if it does, then I might just get some JB Weld just to be safe. I do it anyways, get some safe, just crack it in any seams or whatever, just to make sure that that's not going to leak any. And then we can put it all back in there and clamp the rubber hose on there. So that'll be that problem solved. And then on to whatever next issue I find. Okay, I've done the best welding I can, and it ain't pretty. I'm not a welder. The grinder makes me the welder that I'm not. Still got a few pinholes in it, still leaks a bit. Not bad, but any leak's not good for gasoline. So we went and got some JB Weld. We're going to mix that up, run it in the seams, give it a good coat of everything, seal it right up, and then that should solve that. I keep saying that, but it's a struggle. Maybe I should rename the car Kermit to Struggle Bus, because everything's been a fight on this thing. Kermit the Struggle Bus. That might work. Anyways, so that's what we're doing now. We're going to put some JB Weld on, clean that up, and then hopefully reinstall that, and that'll be done. I hope. Okay, there it is, all welded up. Covered it in some JB Weld to just to make sure I got all the holes. I know I had some pinholes that were leaking, so I just did the whole thing in JB Weld, and then it'll dry nice and hard and seal everything up. I'll give it a quick sand to smooth it out even better, paint the whole thing black, and then this skinny part here at the end is where the hose will go on. It'll clamp on, and we are done. Okay, there's the tube all cleaned up. I put that pipe on there, welded it up. I covered it in some JB Weld just to make sure it doesn't leak. Give it a quick coat of paint. So it's all ready to go back in now. So I gotta crawl in under there and hook everything up, and that'll be done. And hopefully I want to end this video with the car driving out of the garage for the first time that I've driven it anyways, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now it's still up on jack stands while I get this thing back in. But no more brake leaks, no more fuel leaks. Once we put that in, that's the majority of our problems until we find more ones. Wish me luck. Okay, here's the pipe installed. Try and keep you out of the shadows here. There's the pipe that I just put in. I still got to bolt it up there. On the other side, hose on, tighten up that hose clamp. So it's all in. Might change this little, I hate these little clamps that go here. There's like a pinch one. I'm gonna put a proper hose clamp on there. You can see some of my brake lines that I've spliced, but it's all brand new all the way back. Oh, it's up over there. Line there. There's, let's see, there's a proportioning valve up there that I ended up replacing all the lines out of. It looked pretty crusty. I wasn't sure I could let's get that in there or not. Get that out of there, those lines out of there, but we did. All new lines. Not as neatly bent as factory ones, but they're there and they work. I'm going to tie them up, some clamps, and hell, I might even use zip ties. But right now it's just getting this this filler tube all clamped back in, and that should solve that problem. I'm not sure what to do with this tiny little spare. It's a little donut spare, 14-inch, which I've got 15-inch on the car now, so it's pretty much useless. So I might even just take that out of there, save some weight. And yeah. And then we'll put her down put her down on the ground on all four wheels and fire it up and drive it out of the garage. Okay. Brake lines are done, fuel lines are done, fuel tank's hooked back up. It's down on all four tires. Let's see if we can drive it out of the garage now. It's out and it's alive. All right, first time it's been running since I got it. Well, running and then moving under its own power. Put some bigger tires on it there. Kind of like the way it sits. Still going to put about an inch or so lift onto it. There it is. Been sitting for 3 years, so I'll let it idle for about 5-10 minutes. It'll be the longest it's idled since I've had it. And we'll finish off the little stuff. I need to fix the license plate light that's burned out. When I check the timing belt, probably replace timing belt. I have the timing belt and water pump while I'm at it. Wipers aren't working. That's the next big thing. But she's alive and one step closer. Whew. About time. This has been a long time coming. I can't wait to start driving this thing around. Body's a little bit of bubbling there. Underneath this, seems pretty good. A little bit of rust there. A little bit of rust there. The worst is the roof. Apparently where the inside where the supports for the roof go, they glued them, which is normal, but apparently there's some problem with the glue and it eats through the metal. Apparently, I've been told that they all do that, so I have to fix that. Clean it up, I'll sand it down and just cover it in like rhino liner or something in the top in black. No one will see it, it's on the roof. It'll be good for having a cargo rack up there anyways, have a bit of a grippy surface up there. But there she is. There's Kermit. Running, idling, drove it out of the garage. Brakes work. Don't think I'm leaking anything. This is a big step, finally. I don't know if I've showed this before. Well, now I have room. It's full of junk right now, but it's just a mini minivan. Even got the back working. Struts a little weak, but they do hold up the hatch. Woohoo! Oh, I can't tell you guys how much of a relief this is. All right, well, that's it for now. On to the next steps.